So this is a really good question about being connected with a horse. And this particular person has had this mare for 7 years. And the question is like, should she be concerned that she doesn't find that she's as connected as she feels like maybe she ought to be? Well, first of all, kudos to you, because a lot of people just live in denial. They're like, oh, my horse loves me. My horse is the best. We're so bonded. She only bucks me off once a year or stuff like that. But what's really cool is I think that there's a shift in horsemanship today where people recognize that it's not really our horse's fault. We don't need to say that we have a bad horse or this or that. It's like, hey, how can I be more connected? How can I be more thoughtful? How can I be more meaningful in my relationship with my horse? So I love your question. Now, as far as how you can do that, one of the things that I always teach my coaching students, and my coaching students, it's called the Unbreakable Bond Coaching Program. And so it's all about building that bond, building that connection, is by being intentional about connecting with horses in a way that is meaningful to them. So I'm gonna briefly go over 5 ways that you can connect with your horse intentionally and meaningfully. So one is teach your horse to stay with you. Sounds pretty simple, right? You want to teach your horse to be with you, not to want to run off. A good way to do this is by teaching your horse how to back up really well so that when they think about taking off, you can just back them up and they stay right there with you. The other thing is teach your horse to take your direction. So you can do this by a good exercise is teaching your horse how to move their front end, right? So moving over, we're directing this way. Moving over, we're directing that way. Building a habit and trust that they can take your direction and they're gonna be okay. The other area is you have to teach your horse how to be okay with changes. So we go through transitions with our horses. We teach our horse, for example, like changing from one environment to the other, maybe going from the barn to the wash rack or from the wash rack to that one shady part of the arena that they hate. Getting them okay with those changes, but also transitions in their gait, like changing from the walk to the trot, trot to the canter, canter back down to the trot or walk, okay? The other area is number 4, teaching your horse to be willing. We don't want robots, right? We don't want to just force our horse to respect us and any of that junk. We want to earn our horse's respect. That means that we are giving them attentiveness and we are teaching them that they can trust us enough that they are willing to do what we ask. They're not just, okay, I'll do it. Like, hey, what do you want me to do next? Like, you always ask me to do good things and everything's okay. And then lastly, you want to teach your horse to be brave because you don't want your horse to be so scared that you end up getting hurt or getting bucked off because they're spooking.